night sky, a full moon hung overhead. The gaze of a young man in old-fashioned robes sun was sharp enough to incinerate the pagoda and everyone in it. Why wait, his time had come. Even after his entire clan was wiped out by a demonic sect he fought on for revenge, the enemies would soon notice the disappearance of the lackey whose neck he had just snapped, but he would finish this before they did. Soon in the center of the building, a meditating old man realized things had gotten too noisy. Out of curiosity, he opened his black eyes, their pupils like slits, and saw the young man, who immediately threw out a question. "You sit here meditating peacefully while your people die. What a heartless piece of shit." "But look who is talking," the old man retorted. "A brat who kills anyone he wants without even understanding the situation. Tell me, do you think a man cares about the bugs under his feet while he is climbing a mountain? No, his sight is set only on the summit." The same is true for the peak of the martial world. What arrogant nonsense. The young man swore he would personally eliminate this celestial demon with his own fist of heavenly lightning. But that was all the youngster was capable of. "Watch closely," the old man sneered, "and I will teach you how to really throw a punch." The technique of the heavenly blood flow. The old man's energy clashed with the young man's fiery resolve, and the young man lost. Damn, how did the old man summon swords right out of his palm? And where did the young man's bravado go now? Today this celestial demon will send you to meet your father in the underworld, you bastard. It is time for you to die. Like hell it is, the young man roared. Divine fist of the vegetable dragon, the ultimate art, sacred palm of heaven. The old man could not withstand such an onslaught. His hardened body, tempered over centuries, was now weaker than the young man's bare hands. Without a second thought, the youth mustered all his strength for a final blow, piercing the celestial demon's heart with his fist. He literally slammed the old man into the wall. "Do not you dare mention my father with your rotten tongue," he spat. "Remember your crimes as you drown in the tempered wrath of all those you have wronged and killed." It seemed he should have eradicated this sectional dragon back then. The old man had no idea the young master would grow so powerful. He could not believe this brat had broken his heavenly blood flow technique, and the damned bastard did not even give him a choice. Wait, was he taking out an elixir? If this old man drank that much at once, his demonic energy would spiral out of control. But it was too late to worry. It was already happening. Veins bulged on the old man's face, his pupils glowing with a violet light. He channeled all his demonic energy into the young man, who barely remained standing while the celestial demon was just warming up. "It is time for you to kiss the dirt." The young man realized he could not block this strike. But suddenly someone surrounded him with a barrier, saving him from certain death. So was the great mage just in time. "Yes, for God's sake, I cannot leave you alone for a second." Is this the cancer he was talking about? And a great mage. He is a guy from another world, at least that is what he claims. What the fuck? What kind of shit is this now? It was a perfectly normal Murim story. Where did this damn mage from another world come from? Fuck, I just wanted to read a normal hype Chinese cultivation power fantasy. What is this ice guy crap? It started off so cool. I wanted to recommend this manhwa to my favorite recapper. What the fuck? This is what Jinsun said as he read the book. Honestly, it started with a bang and ended with a whimper. The author's imagination just never rests. What kind of shit is this? A whole other world comes out of nowhere. Where is the fucking logic? Over his 23 years of life, the main character was already tired of stories like that. He had been demobilized from the military 6 months ago and was now preparing for college. Like many after finishing their service, he had clear plans before his discharge. Quickly relearn everything he forgot while in the army, get into college, and stack up some certificates. The only problem, it was all so damn boring, and the money was pitiful. Maybe he should look for a side job, but that thought remained just a thought. Instead, Saul became addicted to Murim manhwa, spending his time fantasizing about being the main character fighting monsters, and well, you know. Besides that, he wasted his time on a game called Ground. Right now, the guy walked into a PC bang. The admin asked the usual San, "Yep, 10 hours please." Long story short, this game had hooked the former soldier even during his leaves. After his discharge, he started no-lifing it and reached the top 10 in just 3 months. He even started earning money from the tournaments the PC bangs sometimes held. That is how he was getting by. The game rules were simple. 100 users are scattered across the map from a plane, and then a battle royale begins. Many said Ground was a PUBG copy, but San liked it. At this moment, he had barely found an assault rifle when his teammate said he spotted 2 enemies 250 meters away. Copy that. Double kill. Only 2 left now. Hey buddy, maybe be a little quieter. At least your girlfriend is not yapping in your ear for once. Alright, no need to get smart. A little later, the last survivors were desperately searching for the bastard in the skull mask. Gotta check that house. Okay, there is loot here, so he has not been through. A free medkit, nice. Look, a rat. Damn, we probably need to move. But Salin just popped him in the back of the head and became the last man standing. An easy win for the greatest, though his back was hurting from carrying his useless teammates. That is basically how the main character's life was going. He knew he needed to get his act together and start doing something. The text from his mom, "How is the studying going?" made him feel incredibly guilty. She had sent him money for his education, even a little extra for snacks. So he decided, starting tomorrow, he was quitting his bad habits. He would sign up for an English course. How many months had he already wasted? Getting home, he lay down to sleep, but decided to check out one video with a very interesting title. People with mysterious abilities have been spotted abroad. They call themselves players. Well, alas, that page no longer existed. Looks like the video was deleted. Damn bastards. Well, time for sleep then. The next day on his way to the English course, he got a text from his friend Corey, said he desperately needed help. Could San carry him to a win in the clan war? Just as the main character was about to agree, he saw a strange purple glow behind him. It closed in on him and started to suck him in. A moment later, it was all over. All that remained of the main character was his backpack lying alone on the city street. San himself saw a strange light. Was this his punishment for his resolve to study lasting only one day? But suddenly he heard screams in an unfamiliar language and a huge crowd of people fighting each other dressed in very strange clothes. Why are there so many cosplayers here? Is this a dream? Where the hell has San ended up now? Suddenly the statue in front of him seemed to speak. The gathering of 100 players is complete. System initialization beginning. Language synchronization 100% complete. What kind of nonsense is this? Since when do statues suddenly start speaking Korean? And now San could suddenly understand everyone around him. Not that it stopped the people fighting, they just continued their battle. Some elf asked loudly, "Chiron, why did you drag us into this?" "Did not Escrow bring himself here?" the man retorted. "You shameless walrus bastard. For an elf to trust Chiron again. Fine, it is his right. Everyone here is doomed to kneel before the power of the Demon King." "Oh no, that will not happen," the Archmage Escrow promised. "I will kill this bastard and then I will destroy the Demon King myself." Lightning strike, but the spell did not work. Chiron simply felt nothing. The two continued to argue. The main character realized this was far too real to be a dream. Then the system notified all users, "The game begins now. Difficulty easy. Your task is to make it into the top 10. Selected map the capital of the Noble Kingdom. Those who enter the top 10 will receive a reward. The tutorial can be skipped. All player attacks are blocked in the lobby. And since everyone here is a beginner, here is a brief guide to cloud survival. The game duration is 100 days. With each new dawn, the map will gradually shrink. Finding yourself outside its boundaries will be fatal, so be careful. The game ends when only one person remains alive. Upon session completion or upon death, users will return to their world. Players who do not make the top 10 will not be able to participate in Cloud Wall again. Soon the Eye of Argus will distribute you across the map. Everyone should search for items to aid in combat. Happy gaming and may luck be with you. The main character did not get it. Was he dreaming about ground now? But even if this was a dream, there were so many weird people here. What is this, a gathering of psychos? I am screwed, right? But even in a dream, he would be ashamed to die. So if everything here works like his favorite game. Hey, you with the messy hair, the one who does not want to listen. Why are you glaring at me like a warrior? Where is he from? Hey, you think you can ignore me? Is the kid deaf? Why are you smiling, you idiot? And really, why was the main character smiling? It was simple. He was having such a fun dream, so why not laugh? With his skills from Lord Ground, he would outlive everyone here. And that warrior could go fuck himself. And so the first game of Cloud Survival began. The players were teleported into the sky, most probably wanted to land in the hot spots, places full of useful items. The main character might have jumped into the city center himself, but his strategy was different. Sure, there is tons of loot, but fewer people means more room to breathe and more safety. Like in that remote building over there, for example. That is where the main character decided to land. Surprisingly, he even managed to stay on his feet. I'm gonna puke from that speed. Okay, seems alright. Time to check this house. Aw damn, he was so disoriented he did not notice who had landed next to him. Run, run, run. If he ran into an enemy without a weapon, he would die instantly. Sun slammed the door shut and crouched to catch his breath. Hugh, did that guy with the sword follow me? Crap, why did I have to provoke that warrior? But peeking out the window, San did not see anyone. Guess he got scared for nothing. Alright, no more suspicious sounds. Gotta search the place. The system told them to find useful items for combat. Sounded interesting. But then the guy tripped over something. He looked down and there was a heavy crossbow. The name fit, he could barely lift it, but it was better than nothing. Moreover, as soon as he looted the crossbow, instructions on how to use it popped into his head. He drew the string, took aim. For a sergeant of the South Korean army, this was a piece of cake. This is how you shoot, whoa fuck. No, this weapon is seriously powerful, a useful piece of kit. The main thing is to learn how to use it properly. After that, Sun ransacked the whole house but did not find anything else useful. But the game map was huge, so no big deal. As long as no enemies were on his tail, he could loot in peace. Entering another house, Sun noticed a scroll. It turned out to be a healing potion. To heal wounds, you just had to tear it. Sounded simple, nice. Healing potions are always useful. Now if only he could find an inventory bag. Oh ho, why is that book in the cupboard glowing? Picking it up, San got a notification. You have obtained the Combat Arts Manual Fist of the Black Star. This skill will turn any object in the user's hand into a lethal projectile. Do you wish to learn the skill just like that? Well, who would say no? Suddenly, a purple flash covered his face. The pages of the book began turning by themselves and then dissolved into the air. Just like that, the main character now knew how to strike powerfully with his palm. He did not feel any different, so he decided to test it. He grabbed a fork from the table and threw it at a pot. As the purple energy dissipated, San saw he had pierced the target. Yeah, this really works. Well, I have got loot, maybe I should eat. Or since there are combat arts books here, there should be magical ones too. I should look for them. One way or another, the guy was now convinced this Cloud Survival was very similar to his favorite game. After searching the house, the main character decided to move on. While scouting, he noticed the sun had already set, so screw reconnaissance. He needed to find shelter, but wait. Why is there a light on in that house over there? Here are two possibilities. First, a rare item is hidden there, and second, someone is inside. And by going inside, Sun was taking a big risk because he did not know how many people had landed nearby. But if there is someone alive in there, then it is either a cunning pro or a total noob. On the first floor, the guy did not hear anyone, so he decided to go to the second floor since he had a weapon. And the black star palm could catch an enemy off guard. Maybe he could even handle a pro. Stepping on the creaking steps of the wooden staircase, the main character raised his crossbow and aimed. The light was coming from an ordinary lantern, so it was a trap after all. Oh ho, there is another room here. If anyone is alive here, they're definitely in there. So the guy kicked the door down but found himself in a bedroom with no signs of life at all. Fuck, did Sun move over here as a joke again? There is really no one here, but in the desk drawer was a ring. Could it be another game item? According to the notification, it was some ring that gives plus 20 to strength when equipped. So Sun put it on immediately and felt like a hero because he could no longer feel the weight of the crossbow on his back. So that is what it is. A strength boost. What about stats, characteristics, no maybe status? Oh, and there is the coveted system window. Poo poo poo. Strength 30, endurance 15, agility 13, magic resistance 5. Kind of meager. Besides, he was assigned to the warrior class because of that book he learned. But no matter, that can be fixed. On the first day, Sun got some really good loot, so now he will quickly check the first floor. And there he found another ring, this time for subspace, allowing him to store extra items and equipment in an inventory. Putting it on, he felt like a true ring collector. So what are the instructions? To put an item away, you need to hold your right hand and say subspace. If you touch the ring with your left hand while thinking of a specific item, you can pull it out of the inventory. If the subspace is completely full, you cannot put any more items inside. A bit stuffy, of course, but clear. Saying the word subspace, a portal opened in front of Son, into which he immediately shoved the healing scroll. Pretty convenient, and he would not have to carry a heavy bag. If only he had such a thing in the real world. All these items and combat arts, if Cial could transfer them to reality, he could tear the city apart. Oh, interesting. So far no one has died. There should be a kill counter displayed for everyone. Should take a look. Aha, the guy found it. After all, one player bit the dust today. Earlier, Sun planned to loot until only 90 people remained. However, he managed to search the houses and find a lot of useful gear. And on top of that, all sorts of junk that he can charge with the black star and throw. Seems like he is done with this house. But is it time to move on, or better to stay here until dawn? Those strong players Sun saw in the lobby are probably prowling in the dark right now, and with his current level, the guy definitely cannot beat them. But if he hides and makes it into the top 10, then he can continue to loot in good spots like today. Okay, anyway, fewer people wander around at night, so he will make a run for one more place before dawn. And now he is outside. Although he has been moving all the time, he did not feel any fatigue. I wonder if that is another effect of the strength ring. Too bad it does not suppress thirst or hunger. The developers decided to crank up the realism so his stomach is empty. So hungry, no food in sight. Maybe there is something edible in the city. Okay, judging by the map, it should be around here. Well, where are the houses? But he did not expect to meet the local fauna at all, so he started to run, hid behind a tree, and whoa fuck, he did not feel its presence at all. Holy shit, it is a literal werewolf. Fucking hell. Need to run, find a house. Do anything, but definitely do not hide in the woods, or these creatures will find the main character. Fuck fuck fuck. He thought he had dropped into a normal PvP game, but here monsters are roaming around. If Sun had known it would be like this, he would have stayed in a safe spot. It all started so beautifully. It would be so shameful to die to a regular mob. Oh salvation, a house ahead. Gasping for breath, the guy managed to run inside, but soon heard the damn growling again. Crap, what to do? These creatures are walking around sniffing. Seems like they are tracking him by scent. Enough. Let them smell crossbow bolts then. Need to aim, hold his breath, and bam, right in that fucker. Thanks to the strength ring, Sun can now shoot with one hand. The question of what he was doing with the other remains open, but he only had to deal with the second werewolf. But it had already discovered the main character and started breaking down the door of the house. Well, not just breaking, he smashed it with one blow, and a flying splinter cut the guy's cheek. But that is nothing. It will heal before his wedding. Unlike the werewolf he shot at, which covered its head with its hand and lunged at Son. Is the main character really going to die just like that? Like hell. Subspace kunai black star palm, and this combination shattered the werewolf's torso. Take that, you disgraceful wolf creature, I am not for you to eat. Phew, thank God, survived. He really panicked back there. Almost got killed by a mob. What a disgrace, oh ho. And what is this bag? A drop from the werewolf. No way. Water and some cooked meat. So it turns out you can hunt here and the food problem is solved. Chewing the meat, the guy decided to search the house, and not in vain. He found armor, tried it on, it fit Sun just right, sweet. But suddenly the armor began to adjust to his body, and the main character got 2 notifications. He equipped the improved cuirass and greaves, and now his resistance to fire and wind had increased significantly. Whoa, a perfect fit, huh? His stats went up immediately. There must be more goodies lying around here for sure. Need to keep searching. But alas, the guy found nothing. At least he thought so, until he stumbled upon an invisible item like a cloth. Okay, and if he puts it on, then according to the system messages, a player who stands still in the dark can now blend in with it. Also, the night cloak blocks magical weapons and muffles sounds. Well damn, so at night he can hide from everyone in peace. Yes, this is an indispensable item for survival. With this, Son will definitely make the top 10. He was surprised he found a house in the middle of nowhere, but it turned out it was just a totally unreal spot for farming. The second day brought even more than the first, and after that throughout the night the main character did not meet anyone. Maybe the landing spread really is quite large. But then he heard the scream of some unknown guy who was tired of running. Fuck, if he had managed to use that thing he would have dealt with that idiot in an instant. He needs to catch his breath. How unlucky to run into a mage right away. Not good. But here Sun, hiding behind a tree after putting on the night cloak, realized what a weakling that Tick is. If he is not mistaken, he can deal with him quickly, but aiming, the guy bit his lip. This is simple, right? Just a game. Why hesitate? Just shoot and be done with it. And then apparently the player chasing that poor guy caught up to him and said Flame of Eskra. At the same moment, a fireball flew from the mage's hand, instantly turning the noob into smoldering embers. And he died, it seems. Yes, and a chest appeared on the spot where the corpse was, so this is definitely just a game. The main character was worried for nothing. But then that same mage with fire in one hand and a sword in the other walked right past the invisible San, and the guy had to cover his mouth to not make a sound. Phew, that was close. He absolutely loves this cloak. Judging by the mage's earlier pompous speech, the dead guy was named Aaron, and the dead player was no different from San. His opponent also killed him without hesitation, and while the guy hesitates, he will simply be put in a grave to raise his rank. So if he wants to survive, he will have to shoot. But the crossbow bolt collided with the mage's barrier, and the mage probably surrounded himself with flame, but still did not notice the main character, so Sun shot at the barrier again. At this rate, the wizard's protection will not hold if the unknown keeps blasting. Where is he? Fuck. He is there, charging. Stop hiding, you coward, show yourself. But instead of answering, the main character threw a kunai charged with the black star at the mage and shattered his barrier to hell. But the mage had already noticed the crossbowman started to chant a spell and did not have time. A bolt flew into his ribcage and the mage's body disappeared within seconds, leaving behind only a chest. And thank God, if someone noticed the pyromancer's flame, then San's loot was as good as gone, so he needs to quickly gather the gear and scram. First, he will check the mage's inventory, and there he found gloves, a medium healing scroll, and an ojlacro symbolizing that the user is a mage of that school. But the gear has not a single buff, so it is trash for now. Sun will stash it. Damn, honestly not much. And what is this? A circle stone. Yes, according to the system hint, it allows you to engrave a circle in a player's heart, which will unlock access to using mana. After activation, the user can learn magic. Heh, so becoming a caster is that simple, it turns out. Probably that is why that poor guy was screaming. He did not have time to loot this cool item and died. Sorry, but San will use the circle stone in his place. Well, okay, he will throw the rest into his inventory without distinction and take a closer look in safety. For now, the guy will look for a spot where he can calmly use the new gear. And later, this stone building will be perfect for the main character. Entering it, he immediately used the artifact and got a warning. After activation, he will not be able to move for 3 hours. Also, circle formation will be accompanied by moderate pain sensations. But what kind of moderate? Sun restrained himself with all his might to not scream. He spent those 3 hours in hellish torment. Dawn came and drooling, the main character told the system to shove its moderation up its ass. This was a pure nightmare compared to the combat arts. Status: okay, mage. Strength and endurance reached 30 points, agility 27, magic resistance 10, and the class changed to warrior mage. And since San saw 2 deaths that night, the number of survivors should have decreased. But checking the data, the main character was stunned. What do you mean 54 people died? And most of them were killed by one player, Namsagwin. And a few hours earlier, the swordsman who got pissed at San in the lobby was trying to run away from this psycho, but he just licked his lips. And when the swordsman tripped and fell to the ground, started to beg him to at least make it into the top 10, the psycho did not listen, activated his power, surrounded himself with blue energy, grabbed the swordsman by the face and tore his head off. The name of this cruel psycho is Namsquin. And he did not even take his loot, just hopped off to kill the remaining players. And at the present moment, the main character hoped he would not run into this cyborg killer. But wait, at this rate, he might even reach the top 10 and the top 10 get a reward. So interesting, what will it be? Hopefully something useful, not like money. What if it is the ability to use the skills and items from here in the real world? Ha, dream on. There's a psychopath out there. Sun is already dreaming like a fool. Need to finish up and move on. Ha, the main character feels some energy emanating from him. Is it mana? Exactly. Seems while he was looting yesterday, he found a magic book. Its name is Spheres of Wind. By learning this skill, the player gains the ability to create them using magic. The number of spheres increases as the player progresses in their magical powers. Does the player wish to use the item? And of course, why would he not? But then it was as if the spell formula was drawn right in San's head. He had to try it. Magic extra sphere of wind. Is that all just 4 microspheres? What garbage. However, as soon as the main character threw the product of his magic, it tore apart the wall behind him. Well, holy shit, the spheres are small but powerful. Quality stuff. They say it is not the size that matters, but how you use them. But suddenly San felt very tired. Was it because he drained his mana to 0? Well, yeah, whatever. A lot of time had passed, so the boundaries of the game zone had shrunk and were clearly visible on the map, and the main character decided to carefully sneak along the borders. Half the players were eliminated, so the risk of running into them is minimal. He should power up as much as possible before the zone shrinks further. Meanwhile, standing in a tree behind the main character was an old man he had seen in the lobby. And to be honest, this unknown was very interested in the guy, so he continued to watch him. And by afternoon, according to the map, the houses should be somewhere around here. And so it was. But besides them, there were many half-open chests lying around, darkened by puddles of blood on the road. And then the main character turned around, activated the spheres of wind, and threw them at the nearest door. However, there was no one behind it. Did the guy imagine it? He was sure he felt someone's presence. Oh my god, but behind the door there is also a lot of blood. Probably a wounded person is hiding there since there is no chest. It must be someone strong to have survived until now. Maybe he is crawling around half dead. Well, who knows, maybe there will be something useful among the unknown's gear. Although fuck that. Survival is the priority. He better get out of here himself. And the wounded man saw the figure of the main character disappear into the forest and sighed with relief. Thank God he managed to hide, or he would be dead for sure. If not for the wounds, he would have quickly dealt with the unknown. Well, what can you do? Perhaps he will search for healing potions in the chests and get out of here. But it was not to be. An arrow from a crossbow bolt pierced the man's skull. His pupils narrowed, and that was it. He disappeared. Phew, thank God the wounded man did not drag it out. Now he will take all the items and head for the zone border. When suddenly the old man appeared in front of the main character. And as he looked him over, he said, "What a skilled young crossbowman. Holy fucking shit." Son got distracted. But perhaps he should not be afraid. The old man will not harm him. He just has a couple of questions. Fine, then who is he? Ah, that is not important anymore. After all the people here were brought from different places. And the main character realized this old man is probably very different from the other players. Okay, maybe he can ask what he wanted. No, the old man has been watching the young man for a while and noticed he adapted quickly. He probably realized that nothing here is real. How did the main character not notice how long he was being followed? This is his first time in such a realistic world, but in his own reality he often played a similar game. But judging by the old man's appearance, he is definitely not from Earth. He probably did not understand everything. The old man noticed that it got dark very quickly. Aha, here the third day has already begun. He then asked, "Is the moon in your world just as huge?" And no, here it is much bigger, just like in the old man's world. By the way, the young man can tell him about that game, and Son is generally not against it, but in this place they are easy prey. But if so, then they can move somewhere else. A sound thought, but how is the main character to know the old man will not kill him? But grabbing him by the scruff of the neck, the old man told him to be quiet if he does not want to become a target, and then leaped through the tree branches in an unknown direction. At that time, the main character could not imagine what consequences this meeting would bring, and later the old man stopped on a branch of a tall tree. Why? It is scary, damn, but it is just safe here. So the young man played as humans in virtual reality. It sounds like he is from some incredible world. How to put it, his place is a soon-to-be-developed civilization. Wow, now the old man understood how the guy could adapt so quickly. By the way, he has been following Son since the moment he landed. And in general, the old man planned to enjoy the fresh air on top of a mountain for the next 100 days, but the young man's actions interested him too much. So he decided to talk to him to find out what exactly is happening here, so Son can relax. The thing is, the main character himself does not know what is going on. Well, he said himself that a lot here is like in his world. And yes, but those are games for fun. In them, no one truly died. But here we are talking about the motives of supernatural beings capable of kidnapping people from other worlds. Nevertheless, Son believes for someone this game will be a huge opportunity. Hawk, tell me more details. Well, it seems like if you die here, you just return. And if you manage to make it into the top, they give you a reward. And Son thinks it will be the items the players got here. Not only them, but also the combat arts skills and other things the user possessed here. Although who the hell knows if people will need such things. But for someone who has faced difficulties in life, these abilities could change everything. The old man does not understand why suddenly. Well, he looks like a master from Mura. Son would bet his tooth that in his homeland he has an army of admirers while the guy himself is of no use. That is why he considers everything happening here an opportunity. What interesting things the young man said. Well, he should not laugh so quickly. And while the main character was telling his new acquaintance about tips and tricks that could be useful in this world, the old man responded with stories about his own world. And during these conversations, dawn broke unnoticed. And since it is already morning, the old man is ashamed to continue taking up the young man's time. Well, next to this person seems to Son like the safest place right now, and he liked the old man's stories. However, the old man must repay the young man for the lesson. What does he want? Oh, the Murim master can teach the main character one of his combat arts. The guy would like to last as long as possible. The old man's knowledge would be useful to him. However, the old man did not think that was a good idea. Well, unless the guy is ready for the worst, namely death. To achieve success without traditional methods, one must pay a high price. The young man is ready for that. And how to put it, did the old man forget? You cannot die here. Ah, that is right. Ah, well, then he can try it without any risk. Hooray. And what does Son need to do? Well, to start, the old man checks how much internal energy he has and his great strength. Yeah, the guy has less than the Murim master's dog. How is that even possible? Okay, let the guy sit in the lotus position. And please, now he will experience pain comparable to death, but he will not be able to move. So what should the guy do then? Endure it. Otherwise he will die. And then the main character realized. His senses were heightened to the limit. The wind blowing against his skin began to feel like sharp blades, and every breath burned his lungs like molten lava. Son could even hear ants crawling through the grass. and following that he felt a sharp tearing pain through his eyes and ears. Damn, it is so frustrating to die like this. But wait a second, the main character is seeing something. Is that himself and the old man from a third-person perspective? Right at that moment, the Murim master said the guy could exhale, and then he proceeded to vomit. Yes, judging by the young man's condition, his body is now in proper order. It seems he had a natural predisposition for this. So what now? Well, the old man tuned the flow of San's chi, so from now on and forever he will never be the same. He did say he wanted to get stronger as quickly as possible. Yep, that is true. Perfect. Master Murim slightly shifted his soul and created breathing gates within this space. People absorb chi from the environment passively, so to speak. However, now San has an additional set of gates. They will help him absorb energy even without the aid of breathing. People are made of body, soul, and mind, and life energy binds it all together. But what happens to it when someone dies? Does it disappear? No, that is wrong. It does not disappear but scatters like dewdrops falling onto the ground. This scattered energy is then absorbed by nature itself. That is the natural cycle of life. But there are those who disregard it. They are even willing to kill to absorb another's life energy. However, those people soon become unstable, and in the end the balance of their yin and yang is disrupted, leading to the loss of their martial arts or death. The mind technique the old man imparted to Sun allows him to absorb this scattered life energy to increase his internal reserves. Therefore, he will not die. Moreover, the Murim master adjusted the guy's channels, allowing him to harmoniously absorb chi. He has no pure energy yet, but that is all ahead of him. Now he understood why the old man taught San a mind technique forbidden in the Murim world. No, he did not understand. It is because of the peculiarities of this game. And yes, the young man is a quick learner. The Murim master felt that yesterday. In places where people died, there was life energy present. The main problem with this technique is that success can only be achieved through killing. But here that is not a problem. People are allowed to kill to survive. The old man thinks that in 100 days Sun will reach incredible heights. Well, it is time for them to part ways until we meet again. But wait a second, the old man helped the main character so much. He should at least tell him his name. Chang Donghan nicknamed the Unchanging Hand of Piety, and the mind technique he taught the guy is called the White Combat Art of the Body. And thank you Danohin so much, he will never forget his help. It is nothing. The guy should remember to breathe deeply. By accumulating internal energy in his core, he will gradually become stronger. Well, they will see each other again if fate wills it. The old man left and he quickly vanished just like a pro. If only the main character could use chi to move like that. Well, anyway, time to head for the game zone borders as San planned. Although the old man brought the guy to the center in one breath, the return trip took half a day. And under the cover of night, the main character found a house with a light in the window. Either no one is there or it is a newbie who does not know how to turn the light off. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, let's go. Approaching the house, the guy went up to the second floor and did not meet anyone there, so he turned off the light and decided to search the place. But alas, he only found some junk, a minor healing scroll, and some jerky. Sun did not even get much proper sleep. And that chatterbox is gone. He will take a quick nap covered by his night cloak. And so the night passed, and it is already the 5th morning in Cloud Survival, and the main character woke up because of some voices. The sun had been up for a long time. He slept like a baby. This will not do. He needs to get rid of the uninvited guest, who soon climbed to the second floor, opened the door hoping to finally rest, but encountered San with his crossbow at the ready. He did not waste time and fired, but the mustached stranger cut the bolt with his sword. He another martial arts master. How annoying. What about the black star palm? How dare a pathetic fuck use hidden techniques? However, the main character preferred not to answer but to act. He knocked the mustached man to the floor, kicked the weapon out of his hand, and swung his crossbow bolt. Fuck, he was having such a great dream. The man made him wake San up. No, please do not kill the mustached man. He will give the crossbowman all his belongings for the sake of Christ or whatever they have in Murim. He fought with all his might to survive. However, the guy plunged the bolt into the mustached man's skull and replied, yeah, he too was applying all his efforts to not die in this game. And immediately after, besides a chest, a sort of green energy emerged from the corpse. So this is what old man Danhun was talking about. This is that very chi. Oh, it is absorbed quite easily and is brimming over. The main character can barely contain it. Phew. He absorbed the energy of just one person, but wow. The power is just surging inside. What does his status say? How a new internal energy gauge appeared. 20 points thanks to that mustached man from the bottom of his heart. On the plus side, it seems San can absorb the life energy of the fallen even if he did not kill them himself, which is why he needs to check how many players are left. And what the hell, only 24 people. And it is only the 5th day, and the corpse disappeared in a couple of minutes. That Namsagwin is a natural psychopath, and that is exactly what his latest victim thought, but now she is dead. And Sagwin thought that since Calver Slin attacked first, he would be tougher. But the guy only got his hands dirty. How many has he taken out already? When will the players just die off? Oops, there are only 22 left, but what kind of name is that? Jinsan seems like Savin. Where has he heard that before? Meanwhile, the main character decided to be wary of the crazed killer. He handled some strong guy with ease, so picking a fight is a bad idea. Better to just loot and stay within the game zone limits. After searching, the mustached man, San found nothing useful except a troll potion and went outside to lay low until the number of survivors was minimal. A week later, Langarui realized how lucky he was at the start of the game. He of course did not stick his neck out much, but even when he searched places he only found trash. Fortunately, Sun chose a life in the forest hunting wolves on the edge of the game zone, so he did not encounter other players much. On the 12th day of the cloud survival game there were 20 survivors left. And out of boredom the guy decided to see what would happen if he slightly stepped beyond the barrier and realized the system lied he can still move if he is outside the map boundary. Over the past week only one name was shining in the system, Namsegwin, and now everyone has gone quiet. Even he himself. But then the main character heard an explosion and it happened nearby. Seems like a serious fight is going on over there. That is right, and a rather unfair one at that. 9 players teamed up to kill Namsegwin and he was amazed. Did they gather too few people to catch one kid? Sogwin is flattered and very happy. He will not have to seek out each individual separately now. The players are ready to part with their lives. If not, then it is time. That same second Satseglin soared into the air, chose his first victim, dove down, grabbed his head and squeezed it, popped like a rotten pumpkin. First one down and now the second one will die. He sliced off that guy's arm and then his head and suddenly understood this is not a battle. It is a genuine bloody slaughter. Just looking at the kill counter made it obvious. Namsegwin will definitely win. Unless some unforeseen factor intervenes, that bastard is a real psycho. 9 kills at once. Is he a cheater? But no, just a very strong kid who is tired of stinking of blood. And it is so sticky. Seriously, the players dug their own graves and are only causing problems for Sigwin. He would like to take a bath right now. Closer to night, the mage Eskra arrived on the battlefield, took the staff of Elizabeth in his hands and promised to avenge her. No, he swore by his rank and our hero, since only 11 survivors remained, had to make it into the top 10 at any cost. But after that midday massacre, he wanted to find something serious that would help him avoid the game's favorite. And in that mansion, which will be outside the game zone tomorrow, he can probably find something like that. Going there, Sun let out a whistle. This is a literal museum. What about the gear? Royal Guard armor with a strength requirement of 110 units. Nope, does not fit. The guy only has 30, so he will have to look for something else. Oh ho, and what is this vial? According to the notification, an elixir of insight. Drinking it will increase the player's internal energy, effective for 3 hours after use. This is just nice, it will come in handy. Then Sun found a book titled Combat Arts Manual Unbreakable Fist. Just like with the Circle Stone, it takes a full 3 hours to study it. And then something creaked under his feet. Turns out it is a door to the basement. He should check it out. But suddenly he heard an explosion outside. The shockwave from the blast literally threw Sun out of the mansion. The main character almost shit his pants but did not fall, and driven by the flames managed to remain unharmed. What the hell? He definitely was not being followed. Damn it. Salyun saw this elf in the lobby, but he was not aiming for the main character but for some kid. And would you look at that, the kid survived Eskra's explosion. That means it was not just luck that he avoided fights with the others. The elf will definitely remember the name Namsegwin, but he should talk less. He thinks he is different from the other players. Yeah, only in his increased chattiness. Let him attack. Sagwin's time is precious. He will gladly shut the brat's filthy mouth. Where is his respect for his elders? A good question, but an equally interesting one occurred to Sun. So the player who wrecked the entire server is just a little school kid. Well, even so, Master Ekra can be understood. A crazed psycho like Sagwin just needs shock therapy. How long will the kid keep dodging? Why is he not attacking the elf like he did Elizabeth? And the elf just realized. The jokes are over. He has not encountered such strong opponents even on the Central Plains. And then the little rat squeaked, time to die. After all, no one has ever survived Eskra's thunderstorm. However, the crazed kid was agile and fast and then dodged all of the elf's lightning, jumped up and decided to counterattack. Seriously, you little fuck. With these fancy moves you will not break Eskra's barrier. And with one movement of his staff the elf split Sagwin in two, but there was a nuance. It was an illusion of the kid. Eskra's fury was clearly reflected in the weather. The sky turned black and a downpour started. Esvon was amazed. Can that elf and Sagwin really be so strong with their magic that they can even influence the weather? And Eskra, realizing his senses, could no longer feel the bastard who killed Elizabeth, roared. He will find and kill Gwan at any cost, damn him. And the little fuck meanwhile ran through the forest. That damn mage caught him off guard this time, but next time it will be the end for him. But first Saglin will retreat and recover. Later the elf who let the kid killer get away descended to the ground and vanished after only a brief glance around. Thanks to his cloak of invisibility, the main character remained unnoticed and survived another day. As they say, it is always darkest under the lighthouse. Those two are unlikely to return here, and soon Sue found that very door to the basement. But what if it is a storage room with valuable items, or maybe a treasure dungeon? Damn, it is a bit deep to go down, but whatever. Probably no one has managed to get down there yet. Good thing the guy grabbed a lantern while looting. After reaching the bottom, he hung it up and saw a stockpile of food. Well, I'll be damned. Well, this is of course also good, yeah. His inventory is already bursting at the seams. If you think about it, it has been a long time since he ate anything besides tasteless jerky. An hour later, the main character was so full he was about to burst. He could really go for some white rice right now. Whatever. Maybe he should wash it all down with the elixir. Oh crap, Sun still has that combat arts manual too. He needs to choose. So according to the description, the unbreakable fist technique was created by someone named Manly in the final years of his life. He poured all his martial arts experience into it, but with a record of 1,429 wins and just as many losses, it failed to impress anyone. Manlai had no disciples, so the technique was quickly forgotten. What a piece of junk in the end. Better for Sun to start with the elixir. Considering the power he gained after activating the circle stone, this potion will definitely make him stronger. So he downed the vial's contents in one gulp and felt mana overflowing within him. Phew, this doesn't compare to what he felt before. And right after that, the main character's body suddenly stopped obeying him. His movements became sluggish. The side effects of the elixir only wore off 3 hours later. Damn it, Sun was just sitting on his butt doing nothing, yet he's as tired as if he'd been hiding in the woods all last week, and today he ran into a grand mage in Sagwin. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened. It's a miracle Sun managed to survive it all, so he deserves a rest. On the 13th day of the game, the main character made his way back to the surface, just as he thought the game zone had started shrinking faster. What about the survivors? Oh, it's like they got wiped out in the middle of the night. How did Streak manage to get himself killed? Maybe he chose some absurd leveling method and took a risk. Yeah, there's no other reason. No, of course Sun is happy to make it to the top, but not like this. And the map is shrinking, so he needs to get out of here and last as long as possible by avoiding fights. It's the only way for a weakling like the main character to reach the top. Suddenly something exploded right next to him. Where did that come from? Okay, stop. A mage capable of creating such a powerful fireball. No way. Did Sun seriously run into Eskra? That's right. His sensor went off and he thought it was Namsegwin. The elf's face lit up for the first time. The main character was so engrossed in running fast using his internal energy that he paid no attention to his surroundings. Fuck, what was that? The elf asked if he knew where Sagwin was. Yeah, the answer is no. The guy is going to have to die for hearing something like that. The kid killer hiding behind the tree really enjoyed it. Sun didn't understand why Eskra threatened him immediately. How was he supposed to know this little brat? Well, now he knows. He's right behind the elf and has already smashed his barrier with a single punch. But he couldn't break through Eskra's defense and with a grin from ear to ear declared that he's fully recovered. The mage is in trouble. His mana isn't depleted yet, but he'll test that now he'll finish the elf with just his right hand. But such a simple attack couldn't even scratch Eskra. He wanted to say that but couldn't. Elsja Oganj, this is a martial art, and within it there is a technique called Sugan that only a select few can master. The kid never thought he'd be forced to use it in this world, but Archmage Ikamugwin demonstrated this technique and it's simply a cannon. The brat easily broke the elf's neck and now tore his arm out. And without a voice, the dear fellow can't cast anymore. Heh, it's almost a pity. Healthy Eskra would have easily made the top 5. The main character is lucky the kid killer showed up. Okay, while he's dealing with the mage, it's time to make a quick escape. What if San absorbs the life force of these two? How strong would he become then? Meanwhile, Sagwin couldn't understand where that confident man he was talking to had gone, why there was a half-dead body in his place. Any last words? Yeah, Eskra can't talk, but that's not true. Using telepathy, the elf replied, the sorceress you fucking killed was his most beloved disciple. The elf still regrets not standing up for her when the scholarly community rejected her. It happened because she was a girl. Seriously, damn, Sagwin always notices. Maybe she looked like a man. Elf smirked at such a rotten argument. He'll finally shut the filthy mouth of this spoiled child. But how? And suddenly the main character saw the sky turn yellow as a meteor fell from it towards the earth. Sagwin was shocked himself. How did the mage do that? He can't even cast a spell. It's simple. This is the Archmage's final spell for which he paid not with mana but with his life force. Armageddon, what a psycho. See you later. And the main character fully agreed with the kid killer. Time to scram. Well, Eskra was happy to see Elizabeth again. After such a long separation, the Archmage hopes they will meet again. And in that moment, the meteor struck the earth, causing such chaos that a dark elf quite far from the event noticed it immediately. He knew right away who could use magic of that caliber. And the main character, damn, he was running for his life. He wanted to absorb that life energy so badly. What a fool. Now he'll just die like a greedy noob. But then again, for situations like this, San has healing scrolls. Tearing one with his teeth, the guy started to get up. Phew, without the elixir he would have been done for sure, but one healing scroll isn't enough. He needs to use a second one. That's better. He can finally breathe properly. Though now San has no healing items left. So what about the survivors? The system says Eskra really died. A shame, of course, that the guy couldn't absorb his life energy. But why isn't Namsegwin dead yet? Seems like he is. Razan heard his cry for help, which sounded more like the death rattle of a dying man. Sounded like it came from here, and would you look at that? The crazed kid is really here, missing his arms and legs, holding a scroll in his teeth. Well, no surprise, the meteor was headed straight for him. Doubtful anyone else could have dodged it, but why is the guy just standing there? Let him tear the scroll, Sagwin, please. And seriously, looking at his name on the kill list, he wondered, what kind of powerful gear does this kid have? The main character thought the brat would win, and now he almost feels sorry he's dying like this. But if the guy helps Sagwin, he'll make him the winner. For the kid, it's a trivial matter. It's unlikely a player can survive alone if he kills the brat. And who knows, if he gets Sagwin's gear and life energy, he'll probably become the favorite in this game. No, the guy has no idea how many strong opponents are left. He should put the knife away. Saglin has no useful items, just a martial art that isn't from here. Quiet, quiet. The brat needs to know the name of the person who finishes him, so let him remember. The main character's name is Jinson. However, if he kills Sagwin, he will never forgive him for this. Jinson, you fuck. But our hero didn't hesitate and pierced the brat's head. Damn, why does he look so much like a child? Now the guy even feels guilty. Oh, never mind, just his imagination. Holy crap, how much life energy did Saglin have? He was a walking, talking elixir. Unbelievable. And so there were only 8 players left in Cloud Survival who saw the message that Jinson killed Namsegwin with a sword. And now that the tiger is dead, the foxes will run wild. But our hero finally stopped marveling at the kid killer's life energy and turned his attention to his chest, deciding to check what was inside. Yeah, Sagwin said he had nothing, but you never know. Holy fucking shit, what loot. A Heiser ring for agility, a Dreamer ring for strength, gel for endurance, and 2 rings for increased magic resistance. Putting them on the main character became a true ring master. So not only did the damn brat collect a bunch of rare items, he also lied about having nothing. What a liar. Whatever he needs to check his status. And holy shit, all his stats have grown. At this rate, Solon might actually compete for first place. But besides the rings, Sagwin's chest had a couple of combat arts manuals, though the main character couldn't learn them due to the requirements needing some basic internal cultivation techniques. Annoying but not critical. Okay, what's going on? Someone's approaching. And sure enough, a mage immediately threw a fireball at Son. Well, you unknown fuck, you can't be this stupid while looting. He probably just died from the sudden attack, so his victory over Sagwin was just a fluke. Oh really? What will the mage say now? And how did Son survive his flames? It's simple, he has magic resistance, 90 points. He didn't even notice that fireball. So what is he doing? If he gets closer, the mage will hit him with a stronger spell, Flame Extra Explosion, but that didn't work either, and the main character used the Unbreakable Fist. The first technique, a straight cutting strike to the opponent's solar plexus. It was so brutal that the mage, gushing blood, almost took a tree down with him. No fucking way. Son thought this martial art was complete garbage, so the technique's power really does depend on internal energy. Interesting. Well, what about the enemy? Already dead, and so only 7 survivors remained. Yeah, now that Saglin is dead, the small fry predators are coming out. On the bright side, the guy doesn't have to be afraid of mages anymore. Looks like the coming night will be a long one. Well, at least he can use the old man's lightness technique now, thanks Gramps. With this, Son will definitely win. An hour later, the main character, Invisible, perched high in a tree, but the killers of this psychopath are not tired of hiding. Let him come out and play. Jihark was a skilled mage. Come on, come out quickly and fight the swordsman like a man, you cowardly fuck. Where is he hiding? Maybe he should just admit he's too old to fight. He decided to attack a rat. No, a real player wouldn't do that. He's attacking from the shadows now. Fight fair, you bastard. But it wasn't the main character who shot Stark. Then who? Ikik suddenly guessed. The only one capable of firing an arrow so saturated with aura is the dark elf Urukwana. And the guy knows him by reputation. What stupid questions? The fame of the holy archer runs ahead of him, especially in mercenary circles. After all, Irakwana wants to win, right? So why not team up with the swordsman? They'll beat up this Son. It would be a wise decision. The guy's name is Stan Stark. He's a mercenary. Maybe he doesn't seem that impressive, but everyone in the guild knows him. The archer definitely won't regret it. So what does Urukwana think? He'll consider it now. And there you have it, the holy pathetic simpleton. Do you know an archer shouldn't let an enemy get so close? No, then do him a favor. Die and give your gear to Stark. Yeah, the swordsman's plan is perfect. He'll finish the elf with one strike and suddenly gets an arrow in the head. Stark's final thought was miscalculated. But where did the elf decide to answer into the void that he would team up with such a nobody? Just kidding. It was worthy of a sideshow. Right now, Urukwena's priority is finding Jinson. He just wasted his time. Only 6 people left. Everyone's life energy matters. How great that the archer decided to leave. Now Jin will quickly get a power-up, but then Urukwena turned around and looked the main character right in the eyes. However, how is that possible? The invisibility cloak should hide Son even from detection magic, no? Or is the dark elf not just any archer? Does he have abilities the guy hasn't even suspected? Was he so delighted by someone else's life energy that he let his guard down? Damn it. However, Urukwana, as it turned out, was just thinking about whether to take Stark's things or not. But he concluded that he's trash and his gear is trash too. Nothing but disappointment. He needs to find that Son quickly. He's the one who definitely has the right items. And as soon as the dark elf left, the main character slumped to the ground. No, this archer is a straight-up monster. His name is Urukwana. Damn it, he can sense him from inside. His next opponent will be him for sure. On top of that, the game zone is shrinking faster and faster, not a second to catch his breath. Only 6 survivors are left now, but there are still 87 days in reserve. Does the zone shrink depending on the number of players? Yes, fuck, damn it, he didn't even notice he had wandered into an open field. He's completely exposed here. If he clashes with anyone, the others will spot him immediately. And our hero had every reason to worry. Someone already shot at him with air magic. However, Son managed to react in time and avoided a stupid death. Phew, that was close, but he's invisible. How did the enemy know where to shoot? Damn it. They're attacking again, and there are more projectiles now. He can't dodge them all. If that's the case, he has nothing to lose. Assuming a defensive stance, the main character decided to trust his internal energy. Unbreakable Fist. First technique, straight piercing strike. Fuck, he couldn't get up. Son managed to deflect the enemy's magic, and he's stronger than he thought. Damn, he shouldn't stay in one place. He needs to find out where the air magic sniper is hiding. The main character found that noob almost immediately, hiding behind a tree. The dark-skinned mage was trying to figure out who he even was. He put all his power into that spell, and this guy blocked it without any visible effort. The mage should have been watching his surroundings, but it was too late. He was impaled by a sword, and just like that it happened. He didn't feel his killer's presence at all. He should have saved a little mana for detection magic or a barrier. Hiding his presence was a trivial matter for an assassin. Rest in peace, mage. So 5 players remain and the guy in the cloak must be Jinson. While the assassin knows him, of course. How could he not know the one who killed the public enemy Namsegwin? Yeah, but why did the players decide to target the main character for his gear? Oh, you bastards! Oh, please, let's not put on a show. The assassin never misses his target, so let Son die and hand over his loot. Nugu decided to attack with his fist too slow. And slashing at the main character with his sword, the assassin made him bleed, but not as he expected. He only nicked the guy's arm. Damn, he hoped to finish Son off quickly, but it's not that simple. Yeah, if the guy hadn't covered himself with internal energy, he would have been split in half instantly. This assassin is strong, damn it. And what can you do under the cover of night? He never failed to kill, so Son's death is just a matter of time. Our hero has only faced mages so far. Wait a second, the cover of night is something he can use too, however they should finish this fight. After this, the assassin simply dissolved into the darkness, entered Son's blind spot from the side and sliced him to hell. But what an illusion, astonishing. Fortunately, his stealth is also top-notch, so to speak. But where is Son? Right behind the assassin, and without a doubt the invisibility cloak. His gear is no match for mine. Grabbing his opponent's arm, the guy said that unlike him, he can track movement by energy and twisted free. But as the player said, he should finish the fight quickly. And Son doesn't mind you fuck. What does this fuck think he can handle the rest alone? No, if he teams up with the assassin, they can achieve victory together. However, the main character disagreed and broke the quiet one's spine. Phew, now only 4 players remain. Solyun absorbed the life energy of the slain opponents and used their healing scrolls to recover, but they made too much noise, so he needs to get out of here fast. Okay, stop. The guy didn't expect to see something like this from the assassin, a manual for summoning spiritual illusions. According to the description, it gives the player the ability to create clones that fight on his side. Their number depends on the amount of internal energy. Son wants to learn the skill. Is that even a question? Did he watch Naruto as a kid? Of course he did. Good thing the assassin didn't know how to use internal energy, or else the guy wouldn't have one so easily. Besides that, in the assassin's chest, he also found a book called Carmen's Eye. This is high-level magic that allows one to see through disguises. However, Son's knowledge wasn't sufficient to learn this manual. And while he was reading the book, he suddenly felt a sting on his cheek. It was an arrow. Someone shot him. Good grief, and they hit him with magic too. What the hell? If we're talking about archers among the remaining survivors, it must be Uriquena, whom the guy met earlier. But no matter who the opponents are, escaping won't be easy, because he will pour all his internal energy into this technique. Unbreakable fist, straight piercing strike. And it worked. Phew, that was close, but there are 2 opponents. The main thing is that they aren't working together. Oh, holy crap, Son was mistaken. There's also some muscular swordsmen here who attacked him with a rapier. Our hero barely managed to jump aside. Damn it, all the remaining players are here, that's right, and luck won't help the guy anymore. The Fencer King of Zerna, Centric, the Mage right hand of the Demon King Chiron, and the Holy Archer Uriquena killed Jinson, whoever he is. So how does the main character get out of this situation? He was so close to victory, and then this happens. These bastards are talking. Well, alright then. The fastest way to deal with this newly formed team is to make them fight amongst themselves. But how? He's seeing them for the first time in his life. And then Chiron greeted His Highness Centric. What an honor, but who allowed the Demon King's lackey to speak in the presence of royalty? And sorry for the rudeness, but in this place status isn't as important since a great reward is at stake. Shouldn't they cooperate? Wait a second. So the trio didn't plan this gang up on Son, correct? But Centric isn't against teaming up. Let Chiron take care of that annoying stealth item the killer Sagwin used. Simple enough. And why so holy all of a sudden? Good grief, can someone turn down the brightness? And no, Son can no longer hide in the darkness. What kind of gypsy magic is this? Chiron is a demon worshipper. Where did light magic come from? The cheat invisibility cloak is useless, and that's wonderful. Actually, Chiron is even grateful to Segwin for killing that annoying Eskra. It's a shame the mage can't thank him personally, but what can you do? Such are the laws of this place. And it's time for Son to go to hell. In the name of the great Demon King, Blade of Chaos, Storm of Dark Blades. Looking at Chiron's magic, the main character could tell from experience that mages are usually vulnerable in close combat, so if he closes the distance, it will be hard for him to use his spells properly. He'll just jump on Chiron's face and that will be the end. And what is this stupid animal planning? See you in hell. And a dark purple something shot towards Son. He realized he needed to distribute his internal energy throughout his body to minimize the impact. Son is a specialist in fast closing, and it hurts like hell right away. Okay, and his cloak is damaged too. What terrible luck. At this rate, Son will be torn to pieces. But while staring at his magic, Chiron suddenly heard Unbreakable Fist first technique, straight piercing strike. And Son is an idiot. He has no chance of defeating a mage. He should just give up. Hands of the Dead Chaos, Touch of Death, what a telling name. This warlock is a cut above everyone the main character has fought so far. That's it, it's time to use something new. Summon spiritual illusions. What the? Chiron thought he only knew how to swing his fists. So which one of them is using gypsy magic now? What difference does it make if the mage dies now and no barriers will help him? And Son is right, except he won't be the one to kill Chiron but Centric with his piercing aura. But why? How can someone who calls himself a king act like this? And how to put it, any means are good for victory. Centric would never form an alliance with a nobody like Chiron. The big guy thanks Son for helping him get rid of a pain in the ass. Well, now it's just the 2 of them left. The Holy Archer Uriquena was a real headache for the king's squad. No surprise they would end up dueling, but Centric shouldn't get ahead of himself. H in a way and literally, because Sun hit him so hard his armor flew off and the shockwave almost took out Yurakuona. Phew, finally the top two. The archer thought he would die by Senturk's sword, but it seems the guy used illusions again. What a bug, but he has no time for chatter. He should get down there and fight. Oh, where are all the players rushing off to? Doesn't it seem to Son that he should deal with the big guy first? And what does he mean, is he still alive? Very much so. How dare this wretched scum use dirty tricks? Senturk definitely saw Son get pierced through, but the power to shatter the armor of a master from Zerna is impressive. Maybe the big guy should shut his trap, take the archer with him and attack, but the king can handle this alone when suddenly his features paled and he pierced the main character's hand with his rapier. Senturk loses to no one in speed and he deliberately hit Solon's tendons so he couldn't use his strange technique. What the actual fuck? This is a non-default swordsman. His speed is such that the guy can barely follow it. He doesn't want to lose. Not after everything the main character has been through. He won't give up and will trust his internal energy again. What is he doing? He let go of the rapier, like hell he did, and pulled the metal out of his hand. The main character used the black star palm and threw a kunna at the enemy's face. That was a mistake, but why a mistake? He'll use a healing scroll now and is ready to continue. The king was even surprised. Stubborn kid. Well, how will he respond to the aura blade, formless sword? Son forced Senturk to use this. And by doing so, the king acknowledges his skills. Hoy, like he cares. Okay, in theory the main character should have enough strength, so he activated summoned spiritual illusion using all his remaining internal energy. The king was always annoyed by Naruto fans and their tricks. Victory will not be Son's. Well, that's not a fact. The big guy is ready to take the hit. He should take the fight more seriously. How long can this fight go on? The archer is tired of waiting for a winner. However, the main character is already dead serious. Enough talking, let him attack. And Senturk thought to himself, this aura will last 2 minutes at most. I need to finish off the guy in that time. And Son was in a similar situation. His internal energy was almost zero. His panel was gone. Send the clones forward. And they immediately surrounded the king from all sides. One even managed to hit him in the spine, for which it got a sword to the face and disappeared. A shame it wasn't the original, but one way or another Senturk will chop everyone here to pieces and Son will give him a beating. Why wasn't the king prepared? The guy warned him. If this bastard is going to act like this then, but the big guy guessed wrong. He might not even try to find Son's real body because all his spiritual clones will beat Senturk just like the original would. Right after those words, a couple of clones almost broke the king's neck with a straight piercing kick. However, he jumped to the side and while in midair used his piercing aura to impale two with his rapier. If they fell apart so quickly, then Son's clones are trash, except there are 5 of them left and the king is alone. Plus there's only 1 minute left on the skill's duration. Yurakuena was amazed. He didn't think Senturk would have it so hard, but the archer is just standing there like a post. If he helps the giant win, he'll get anything he wants upon returning to their world. But the king should have been looking ahead. And only thanks to the archer's advice did Senturk manage to react in time and use a wave of destructive aura. But the clone activated Unbreakable Fist straight piercing strike and holy fucking shit, that bastard blocked it for nothing. Yeah, right. And Jin Son got caught and with a lightning thrust Senturk deprived the main character of his heart. Except that was also an illusion and the king was getting pretty tired of this game. How humiliating. He no longer cares about winning, he'll go all out to tear Son to shreds. Let them try to dodge this. It didn't work? How is that possible? Now only 2 remain, the main body and the bastard's clone, but now it's the main character's turn to attack. Straight piercing strike, take that you overleveled fuck. Excellent. Senturk took some serious damage, except Son's opponent pierced his head with a rapier. And since no notification came, it means only the guy's main body is left now. Well then the king will finish him off. With one thrust the two rushed at each other and Son blocked Senturk's lunge by kicking him. Damn it. It turns out he fights without a weapon. But can he block this too? Aura blade, lightning veil, and suddenly the main character felt unbearable pain. Well, of course he almost had his leg cut off. If Senturk kills him, Yurakuena wins. No please. However, the giant showed no mercy, going for the kill. And right at that moment the energy emanating from the rapier faded. Phew, the king barely made it. His aura was almost depleted. Had he been a second later, it would have been over. What's going on? Why hasn't the system reacted? Could it be? Here the main character grabbed Senturk with both hands and squeezed his head until something cracked. Finally victory. However, without exhausting the giant there would be trouble. Yurakuena agrees. The archer likely couldn't have defeated the king in a one-on-one fight, so he expressed his gratitude to Son. He forced Senturk to go all out by provoking his competitive spirit, but expended all his strength doing so and will now perish. By Yurakuena's hand he will personally immortalize the guy's struggle. Except the main character's life energy is less than Sagwin's. With that amount he has enough strength to resist the archer, and here he's already been shot so he can't hesitate. Spiritual illusions. Together with his brothers he will punish Yurakuena. And he's using that annoying technique again. But the archer can see the real Son, so he shot and hit him in the leg, causing the main character's clones to start disappearing and he himself fell down. Well, he shouldn't have underestimated the archer. Can you hide from him? No, damn it hurts. How was Yurakuena able to identify the real body? To be honest, it's thanks to his inner sense. Son tried really hard, got this far, and he respects him greatly for it. But he can shove his respect up his ass. Suddenly the main character's pupils dilated as Yurakuena shot an arrow into his head. And thus the game of cloud survival ended and the main character was transported to some subspace where he watched his own death on a screen. At the end he panicked and lost. Well, at least he got further than Namsegwin and took second place, which means the system allows him into the next game. Including kill bonuses, the guy earned 140 coins, recalculating items collected by the player. Honestly, there's a whole bunch of them, and the system writes they can be purchased for coins. So what about summon spiritual illusion? Holy shit, 130 coins. Why is it so expensive? Oh ho. The last 5 surviving players are given the right to spin a roulette wheel and get a random item. Is this like a gacha system or something? For second place you get 2 spins. Damn, in Genshin you need 90 for a 5-star. What is he supposed to do with 2? That's normal. But if San gets lucky and rolls the invisibility cloak or summons spiritual illusion, he'll save a lot. Screw it, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's go. And then a wheel appeared in front of the guy with the names of all the items San had collected spinning on it. And stop, what did he get? A scar necklace. Oh fuck this casino's ass. Out of everything here he rolled the cheapest piece of crap. What a joke, why can't they give him something useful? Whatever. The main character has one more spin, but before that, Alabuddha Jesus, anyone please help San out. Let's go, need to watch carefully. Invisibility cloak, circle stone and stop. Oh my fucking god, summon spiritual illusion. Hallelujah, come to me loot. Well, now that's a different story. He got an awesome item, saved his coins and took his prize. He decided to do a little more shopping. But besides the Naruto technique, he also picked up a bunch of other cool stuff. It's a tough choice. But anyway, he can't stay here forever. With that thought, the main character finished his shopping and the system thanked him for his purchase, wished him luck in the next game and teleported him right back to the spot from which he was taken to the lobby. So San returned home. Maybe it was all a dream, though it seems not. The subspace ring is still in his hand, which means it wasn't a dream. And so the main character's first game ended. It seemed to him as if the world hadn't changed at all since the start of this little adventure. However, San knew that serious changes were coming. Now he's not even afraid of exams. But if you think about it, the system said there would be a next game. Damn, maybe he should forget about studying. He returned home and started preparing for it. Solon only reached second place, and that doesn't satisfy the guy at all. In the next gaming session, he wants to win, and with that thought, the main character returned home to the studio his parents rented for him near the school. Well, the guy had no problem preparing to return to university. However, he had already decided to focus on getting stronger using the loot he got in the game. He no longer wanted to hide and run in subsequent games. By the way, unlike in the game, San's energy center in the real world was empty. Did he really lose everything in the final fights? You can't kill people here and you don't need to, but you can and should train. He needs to at least do some chuki, as the old man said, to fill his core. That's what Shandonghan called the meditation process for accumulating internal energy back in the game world. It's certainly not comparable to the white combat art, but if he makes chuki part of his daily practice, the guy will become truly strong over time. And what? Just like a Murim master. The old man would laugh at that. And Sun is quite brave, like a sparrow exhausting itself trying to keep up with a stork that wouldn't even notice it's pecking. To use the old man's special move, he tried to sit and think very hard for a while. Right now, after sitting for 4 hours, it felt like forever to San. So why did he only get a tiny bit of special energy? Oh come on, this is so different from the game. To get strong this way takes years. That's way too long. Maybe he should look at the stuff he brought back instead. The first thing he took out was a book for fighting called Unbreakable Fist. It was the best close-up fight move he found. Oh man, does he have to work as hard for power as he did for that special energy. It looks like he can't get strong fast. A message from the game: do you want to learn from this book? Weird, but of course yes. Right away the room lit up. The main guy punched the air one time and now he knew the Unbreakable Fist move. But right now his punches are not even close to as strong as when he was full of that special energy in the game. But still. Okay, what else did he have in his magic pocket? Oh, Eskra's necklace. It looks like junk, but it seems to be made of real gold. It's so heavy it must be worth 10 million won. But the game said its price was just 1 coin. While next time he should bring 10 of these things out of the game, he would be so rich he wouldn't even need to make videos online. Maybe in the game this stuff is no good, but here it is worth a lot, just like the troll's special drink. It stops your liver from getting sick if you drink too much for a whole year. He took it to see if it works. But if he sells this bottle to a rich, silly person, he could make a lot of money. Cloud survival is really a game of chances. Is his stomach making noise? Lately, Sun has not eaten anything but dry meat. And even though he was not very hungry, his stomach wanted real food, so he should go to a normal place to eat, like the grandma's shop. Soon the guy got a full meal for 5,000 won. And yes, he could call this a fancy treat. Good white fluffy rice compared to the meat that almost broke his teeth. This was like heaven. He had been dreaming about it. Oh my, how did he live through that only meat diet? The shop owner grandma did not get it. He was here yesterday and ate a lot, and today too. Stop crying about his pride. The food here is just so very good. Well, when he eats he does not hear or talk. The guy would eat every last bit. If he needed more, grandma was right there. Yes, thank you. Just like he thought the time in the game did not change real life. Later he thanked the grandma for the good food and went outside to think. When would the next game start? Would he have time to get a little more of that special energy? Oh right, he has the ring of strength, putting it on Sun, hoped it would make him strong like in the game. Oh my god, this feels so light, and if he jumps. No way San can jump 10 meters high like Spider-Man without a web landing on the ground. The guy hoped no one saw his trick. He did not want any bad stories about our hero. Oh well, the important thing is he found out that the game's strength works for real too. Going back home, Son first wanted to use this time to get more special energy, but maybe he should just use it now. The good thinking drink. The most expensive thing the guy brought from the game. He paid 50 coins for it. Well, last time Son felt like he was burning up from the inside. He could not even move for 3 hours. But who cares about being scared? He will drink it all in one go. And it seemed that was a bad idea. The very next second, a strange white power shot out from the guy's eyes. 3 hours later, oh my god, the walls and this door are so hot you could cook water on them. Son's neighbor tried to knock on the door, but because it was so hot, she could not even touch the handle. But when it is this hot, you should call the fire people, not the police. What can these two do to help the old lady? Maybe the guy in there just turned his heater on too high. No way, even if you turn the heat all the way up, it does not get this hot. Okay, the policeman will open the door now. The second he touched the handle, he yelled, "Ouch, what the this is hot, damn, hello, anyone home? Police, is everything okay in there, mister? Your neighbors are talking about you. Please open up. The police are here to help." The main guy opened the door for the people he did not ask for. "What do you want? We got a call. We thought there might be a fire here, but Son was just a little cold and turned the heater up a bit. And anyway, why are you here? This is a job for the fire people. I just have the chills. I will rest and feel better. Goodbye." After making the 3 people leave, Son closed the door. Oh damn, to be honest, he almost died. The power from the drink had boiled in his body like hot rock juice. If not for the white fighting art of the body, he would have melted like ice cream. Compared to the game, the chance of dying here was very real. On the good side, the main guy can now use the straight sharp punch, which totally broke his chair. Oh no, now he has to buy a new one. The next day, Son went to the sports place because he thought he would work on his body to get better at fighting. But there were so many people there that doing his plan was not easy. The guy decided it was better to train after the sun went down. For now, he would just play on the exercise bars. Oh, looking over there are some local bad kids. Oh no, if Son remembers right, there is a school right by the mountain. That's right. And the local grandpa really does not like that these big kids are smoking here. You are not allowed to do that here, right? Kids these days are something else. But Denju did not get why the old man was talking. Who is he to tell me what to do? Even his friends were quiet. Ah, I see. These students were not taught well. What did you just say, you old jerk? Are you tired of living? Why are you talking here and getting in the way? But Denjun should not have tried to hit the old man because the main guy would not let that happen. He kicked the mean student right in the face and sent him flying away from the old man. How could this piece of dirt treat an old person like that? Hey, no, let him go, Amada. You and your monkey listen to Minsik. He somehow did not remember this guy. Is he tired of living or what? And for some reason, Son had a feeling he would have to work hard with this kid. And the guy did not want to be quiet. This hairy guy hit my bro. Why are you quiet? Nothing to say. No, it is just Kuridzu asked for it himself. Does he have no heart? Swinging at an old man? Even a stupid high school kid should understand they will have trouble if they smoke so much in public. So Minsik should teach his little brother or he will keep getting beaten up for no reason. All of a sudden, Dada threw a pretty good right punch, but the main guy moved away and it was too slow. Now he will show him how it is done. Unbreakable fist, straight sharp punch. Crack, sounds like he used too much power. And then Minsik took out a butterfly knife. Where did this hairy guy even come from? He is done for. Him and his brother are 2 of the same kind. Moving away from the first swing and then all the ones after that, Son started to see clearly beating up bad guys like this was now very easy for him. But still, this is the real world. If he shows too much power, it's jail. So a push that does not kill. And even though the main guy used only half the power, one of the guys still flew into a tree and fell down head first. Oh no, he really got hurt bad. This is not something for people to worry about, right? Yeah, he is pretending the guy is just a pro from action movies. Anyway, Genshu should stop smoking and not be mean to old people anymore. And Minsik should stop carrying a knife or one day he will hurt himself with it. Well, see you later. Running away from the place, Son was mad at himself. What was he thinking, showing off in front of normal people? What if one of those 2 had died? Everything was easy in the game, but the real world needs hard work and very careful use of his power. A month later, the main guy kept training by sitting and thinking, but then he heard his phone shake. Grabbing for it, it looked like his mom was calling. She asked if her son was eating well, of course. Phew, that's good. She had not heard from him at all. Was Son sick? How were the school classes going? Mom was worried. The guy was just fine, but he could not say he was not studying and was learning to fight instead, so he asked how his dad was doing. He was looking for a new job and actually his dad had been in a car crash. And how bad was he hurt? When did this happen? Son's dad was out taking things to people when a driver who ran a red light hit him. You know, he always drove without the safe paper trying to save money, so the doctor bills are huge. And maybe mom should not ask, but does Son remember she sent him money for his things? Maybe he had some left. How much is needed for the doctor? About 2 million won. The main guy understood. Mom, don't worry, he has a plan, he will get some money. Son's mom and dad had always lived in rented homes. His dad worked harder than anyone, but as he got older he made less money. He mostly had short-time jobs, so they moved a lot. And the guy himself was a lazy person from a poor family with no hope for a better life. At least that is what he used to be. But now everything was different. Soon after, he went to a jewelry store and showed the man Eskra's necklace. How much is this pretty thing worth? The work is very nice. It looks like the necklace was made in another country. This is a family thing passed down in Son's family for 5 sets of people. Yes, you can see right away the way it is made is not new. This pretty thing could be worth more to people who collect stuff. Are you sure you want to sell it here? Yes, the main guy needs money fast for his dad's doctor bill. He has no other way. 5 minutes later, Sun left the jewelry store with 11.5 million won in his bank. But by the way the man acted, he sold it for too little. But what could he do next time? He will have to find a better way to sell his game things. After sending the money to his mom, Son called her, and instead of thank you he got a lot of questions. Did he get money from bad people? Did he do something against the law? Calm down, someone died, and gave money to a guy with no job. Okay, the hero sent all the money he saved for the last few years. Mom and dad are so sorry, but oh, my family is important. It is all okay. Son will go see dad at the hospital a little later. Okay, thank you so much, son. Later on the train, the guy was staring into space like he always does, but then he heard two school boys talking. Bro, that video is so fake. What is this Escra fire thing? Is this some kid who likes Harry Potter with glasses or what? In here, Son got nervous. If he was seeing it for the first time, he would not get it either. But now the guy knew the magic from Cloud Wall. This means he is not the only one in the country who lived through the first game. I wonder how this game will change real life, but at the same time a man with a big job at some company got a call. Yes, he will take that video down right now even if he has to turn off the power for the whole country. He is very sorry, he will fix it fast. Hanging up, he asked his worker, why are there still no answers? It is just that lately the number of people who lived is going up very fast. Finding all of them is almost not possible. But really, you have to make a face after the Ashbringers thing. There seem to be so many new people on the streets lately. So why has their group not gotten more people yet? Get out and find new recruits now. If even one drop of red juice gets on the rug, the blue-eyed man will destroy his worker. His head is already splitting because of the fools from Freebird. If his workers understood the job, then it is time for them to act and it will be done. The summer heat was gone and the nights were much cooler. A full 2 months had passed since the first game ended. And Son had started training every night, staying out of sight. He had built up a lot of special energy and was getting better at using it. But the biggest problem was his clone move. It only made one fake copy, and it did not even last very long. If the real him hit the fake, it would start to steam and then just vanish. Was this really his limit? Back in the fight with Centerk, he handled 8 copies with no problem. Maybe he just used too much energy back then. But what is the point of complaining now? He needed to go home and gather more energy, but he was so hungry. All of a sudden, a portal appeared in front of Son and moved him to another place where besides him there were a freaking ton of confused people. Just like Son last time, a new game 2 months after the first one took its time, and the statue was starting a tutorial which did not happen last time. Did this mean there were way more new players now? Oh look. A guy in a school uniform, a high school student, another player from Korea besides Son. Yeah, he is standing on the statue's head, nose in the air, a typical high schooler, but he looks dangerous. The main thing is he did not seem as skilled as Namsegwon. Then an announcement sounded, 200 players are here, the game starts, difficulty easy, goal is to get into the top 200. The chosen map is Contra Valley. From 20th place and up, you get rewards based on your rank. And there is no risk of getting kicked out in this round. If that is true, then Son can play 1 against 199. After the game rules were explained, which the guy already knew, a surprise announcement came. This is a team battle. Everyone can make teams of 2. The game goes on until only one team is left. Even if only one person lives, both get the reward. If players do not find partners in 5 minutes, they play alone. This would be okay, but how can people team up so fast when they just met? If you pick the wrong partner, they can drag you down. Oh right, that school kid, he does not look like a newbie, he could be useful. But the Korean guy was gone, seems he decided to play solo. Son started to panic and asked everyone to team up, but players already found their partners. Oh well, team or alone, who cares? Son will kill everyone and win. So these are the team fights in Cloud Survival. Floating in the air, the main guy saw a few villages in the valley where you could get some good loot. He would go down there. This time he would land early and then pick off the late people. Standing on the ground, Solyun looked up and saw 3 teams flying his way. That means it is time to start his plan. Since the first game ended, the guy had thought about it over and over and imagined what the second one would be like. So he made a new plan and soon found his first target, a mage who just landed. He jumped out of the bushes and hit him in the shoulder so he could not use magic. 1 down, unbreakable fist, straight sharp strike. But the main guy was wrong. According to the notice, he had to finish the enemy off so his partner could not heal him. And just as Son stepped on the mage's head, he felt movement nearby and barely moved away from an enemy spear. But he could not avoid the shield bash. Ouch, seems the mage's partner found him. Dang, he is strong. And it looks like he is good at close fights. And since the unbreakable fist uses bare hands, it is important to find a way to fight guys with bows, spears, or swords. Since Son never got to try this in real life, he thought about it a lot. He was excited to use it in the game, and right now the guy did not even notice he was smiling. What made the knight so mad? So he attacked Son with his spear again, but if that is how it is, he could try a counter. He aimed his fist right at the tip of the spear, then suddenly spread his fingers and smoothly pushed the knight's weapon to the side, then hit him in the body. This made the mage's partner even more angry. This brat blocked his attack with his bare hand. That is right. The knight was open now, a push to win. And with this move, the main guy broke the opponent's armor, grabbed his head, and from above smashed the freak's helmet with his knee. Wow, he cannot even get up. And stepping on the knight's head, Son crushed it and ended the fight. 2 down, and this guy had a lot of energy. Man, all that training at home really paid off. In the game it is so much better, and it seems 4 more players landed nearby. Oh my gosh, someone is shooting at Son, but where did the shot come from? He needs to find the archer fast, and it looks like he is hiding in those houses. But the main guy stood still for too long, he barely saw another arrow shot right at his eye. At the last second, the guy barely leaned left but still felt red juice on his cheek. And that is not all, what the heck, of course. And dodging a volley of shots, he ran behind a tree and kept moving through the forest to get closer to the houses where the archer was hiding. If the enemy is so accurate from far away, he must be using special energy. Well, no, the arrows are not that strong, but shoot, is the archer alone or is his partner already chasing Son? Oh, who cares? First he needs to deal with the archer, do that, and the second one will show himself. If the main guy was still a newbie, he would hide in buildings and loot, jumping at every sound. But now that he learned to feel life energy, his enemies were just a way to get more. No, Son was so close, but an arrow hit his head. A big hole opened right in the middle of his forehead. His thoughts got mixed up, but suddenly the guy dissolved into air. Hachek did not get it, he was sure he hit him. How did he just disappear? And the main hero was already here and kicked the archer in the face. Well, hello there, rat, but that very rat was able to get his bearings and vanish. Whereto Son definitely felt that he hit him. Okay, stop, that is not possible. The archer has an invisibility cloak. That was it, and he was already drawing his bowstring behind the guy, who saw it by his shadow and was not fooled. He dodged the volley of arrows and stared at the archer, who jumped out into the street. What the heck, how did he get behind Son? Oh, what an angry face. He thinks the main guy will let him go. No way, he was just getting his strength back so he could also jump into the street and start a chase that did not last long. He had no idea where this archer got the cloak, but fighting in it in bright sunlight was a huge mistake. If it was someone more patient, this item could have taken him to the top. But now let him just die and give the cloak to the main hero. But the stranger should be more polite, and the archer, sorry man, the elf was chasing the karate kid, but he was faster than he looked. Oh shoot, since the killer is the archer's partner, he should protect him at all costs. Yeah, talk is cheap. Their enemy has a partner and the killer does not care. He should just finish this job right here and now. Then Son understood. He should have moved faster to take out these creeps one by one, but now he has to fight two at once. Exactly. From the left, the killer with two swords jumped at Son, and from the right, the archer started blasting him. But our hero just dodged, and the elf had to block his own ally's arrow. But the guy did not plan to fight these two in the open. He then ran into a dark alley, and what a slippery freak, he moves like a snake on a hot pan. No matter, the archer will calm him down with a triple shot. Yeah, 3 out of 3 for heck's sake. Mr. Alex guarantees 100% accuracy. That guy is done for, and he was not wrong, except it was an illusion from Son, you freak, and the real one jumped off the roof, landing behind the archer. And here, without realizing how this could happen, the friend felt the main hero's hand punch through his chest and his heart stopped beating. Yeah, relying on your eyes in a place like this. What a loser. But the smart guy was not tired of using his tricks. And he does not know about the trickster, but he is a real smart guy. And then the elf had a genius idea. If he wants to save his friend, he should hurry up. The scumbag will be smart in his grave. He thinks he can easily take out the killer. Yeah, right, a double strike sounds lame. How about unbreakable fist? That is much better. It hit the killer in the shoulder. Now he for sure cannot keep attacking. Ouch, my arm hurts. The elf is a quick guy, but just you wait. And hearing the move bloody lunge, the killer slammed his blades into the main hero's ribs. The feeling from this hit was for sure different from the black spear. The cut seems deep. If Saul had not used his special energy to the max, he would have lost his arms. And how strange. The elf should have cut the smart guy to pieces, but it seems he used some trick again. Makes no sense, but who cares? The killer will twist his head off, and that is that. And if the main hero cannot end the fight with one hit, he has no choice but to keep using the unbreakable fist. How can he keep up with this freak's steps? Okay, wait a second. In this game you cannot get kicked out. Since Son is not at risk, he can experiment a little. He will track his enemy not with his eyes, but by feeling his life energy. If the guy cannot even handle this, then first place is out of the question. Son, who had practiced using his special energy for 2 months, had changed a lot. If before, when he first learned Shanduchin's technique, he felt, to put it mildly, strange and unsure, now the guy knew he could do it. After all, he was one of the few with a natural talent to control internal energy, when suddenly the blades fell from the elf's hands. How is this possible, you son of a gun? How did the guy avoid that deadly attack so easily? And our hero just for a moment felt like one of the walls around him fell, and he smashed the opponent's head into the asphalt with all his might. He finished him off, learned the elf's name was Carl Journey and that only 96 survivors were left. And now it is time to loot. As expected, the strong guys brought a nice haul. Seems these two were looting hard. And for sure, yes, they found healing scrolls. He will heal the wound on his gut now, but the hole in his invisibility cloak cannot be fixed, unless of course Son finds a master with special skills or a special scroll. Oh well, if the guy had been a bit more careful, he could have easily made it to the top, but whatever, he will keep this gear in his inventory for now. What about the rest of the loot? A bow made from wood hit by lightning, it shoots arrows with that element. But somehow Saul does not remember that guy's shots having electricity. Oh look, a skill book for archery. So the guy was not a born archer, he learned it during the game. After learning the skill, the main guy decided to try it out. He shot the bow and oh yeah, this is way better than the crossbow he found last time. And even though another team was nearby, Son went to go loot some more because he was a little tired from all the action. Too bad he only found junk and a hint of something cool like an invisibility cloak, but looking out the window, the main hero saw a huge tower in the city center. And honestly, it looks like a loot paradise, so he headed there. Okay, the door is locked, so no one has been here, but just in case Sun will lock it behind him. And going up, he hoped to find something valuable, maybe a ring that boosts his stats, but reaching the top floor, the main guy did not find a single good item and angrily punched the wall. This game loves to mess with him. It has worn out all his nerves. Oh look, and there's the last team in this area. They are walking around looting, you can even see from up high. Their bags look full, and if they have something good, taking on 2 alone might not be so simple. Oh boy, what should he do? Why are they going towards the tower, exactly? And the bright-haired guy noticed that the doors were locked, so clearly no one had been here. Oh, a healing scroll, a promising start, haha, no wonder the main guy saved his healing potions. This is too good of a deal, and if the enemies were happy to find healing scrolls, then maybe their gear and skills are not that great, then they will crush these noobs like bugs, and that is where we have caught up to the current story.